It's kind of mellow where I'm at, but I got inspired to kind of jump on this that whole thing to keep you D, the latest thing. Um, I don't know if you watch Bombers One with Reggie Wright and James Mobb, but they had some choice words for Suge Knight. I got through watching that video. Reggie Wright Jr. They laid in the Suge. I'm gonna probably do my own video about that because if he's on this free Keefy D thing, man, a lot of lives were lost. And if that's Tupac's friend, I hate to see what an enemy is like. I didn't see some stuff really go on where people are, showing their true colors. So it's some real interesting times with what could go down. I think there's gonna be some stuff that's about to really hit the fan. Really, a lot of people better be careful about my association. Cause see, one thing about the music industry plantation now, this ain't the golden age where you had the sales and the PR. You can stuff's out in the open, and now they're going back in time where there's no statute of limitations to come uh, put some people under. So this ain't the time. I see why those artists were low key and didn't say nothing when R. Kelly went through lockup, etc. Because the worst thing that ever happened was the surviving R. Kelly. Because now you're about to see some stuff probably set it off, especially with some unsolved. But I'm not buying the Tupac thing at all. I don't even think that that is even. I don't even think that that is even. What's the word I want to use? I don't even feel that that is even the end all be all of it. I'm looking at the Tupac Shakur case kind of like I look at JFK. They gonna keep on throwing names and places. If you only had one person that survived that was still around, then where are the other players? And I know they're deceased and so on and so forth, but there is other factors involved. There's other money involved. There's other things that's going on. So there is a lot more that's going on with that. But it's a good distraction now with everything that's going on with Israel. And again, uh, that's a tough thing to see over there. However, I always talk about Book of Revelations, the end of time and things going on. And you see some real uh, troubling sights and sounds that are going on. It's real right now. The way people are treating folks and what's going on, it's real. It's real. It's very real over there. Because you got situations where people are not, um, just taking people out to be taking them out, and just not uh, being ethically right. It's it's just some real problematic situations now. So, but I had a problem with Amari Stoudemire. I did a video about that. He need to shut up. Trying to talk about who believes Black Lives Matter. They find some turkey like that to say that kind of stuff, and they want to make it like to use that as a scapegoat. However, we got enough hate here at home, So I'm not trying to pay that idiot no mind. He can go back to modeling. That's what he do. That's what he was working on. Because as he tried, his NBA career came and went, and he was good for a window. He was very good, had a chance, and he just kind of like, I think we went to New York, whatever, and he just wasn't the same. His Phoenix days was his best. So not paying Amari much mind. Anyway, peeped out some baseball playoffs. Some interesting storylines. The Atlanta game was interesting last night. If we were in a time period where people cared more about baseball, I mean, in general, because it's not getting the same consensus, but Bryce Harper would get his behind 8 up. Them blunders, because he ran past his signal call when he ran and scored the run in the game one. But last night his blunder cost the team. So playing hero ball, he likes to play hero ball. I've noticed that about him. He's the catch you love to hate. Except nobody right now is really sweating baseball like that. If they were really sweating, he'd be the one kind of villain. But who's a villain now? Who really cares about a villain? You know, like that in baseball. There really are no villains today. There are teams you don't like to an extent, but it's not the way it was. It's a different era, different time. So, But I observed what he did though. I was tripping on that. That was a great catch last night in Atlanta. That could be the kind of swing of a catch that if Atlanta goes and wins it all, that was the turning point of their season. You know, I like this 2 out of 3 in the second round. See, baseball's got it right as far as that go. They got some things they're doing right. You know, and I'm going to. Mm, Everybody wants to talk about the two biggest stories. I got a video comment about the Dallas Cowboys and New England Patriots because I talk about them respectively. Dallas is a fraud. Dak Prescott, you know, had some moments. It's been a long time ago, you know, and I just don't see it happening there. Not in the big games. And New England, Belichick, it's a wrap, you know. Don't see it happening no more. That ship has sailed, you know. So I got videos coming out about both of those, got that situation. And it's really, what happened there, why it's come to pass. And, New England sucks. And just to see Belichick wallowing and being so miserable now is kind of like, oh boy, my, how the mighty have fallen. And there's no getting up from this. Sports shows is talking and saying how it's the worst job. Even people that try to justify it can't even. See. This is where journalism and sports, that when they come to the real, they have to speak on the real, the actuality, not their bias. I always say take your bias out the equation and be balanced. And if you're balanced, you call it like you see it. So that's the bottom line. And just like I try to be straight about when I talk about different subjects. When we ask about football, I'll be the first to tell you right now, San Francisco looks like the best team. I think them and Philly are 1-1-8. But Dallas ain't in that party. So, and New England looks like a lottery team. It's pretty pathetic, you know. Belichick, they say he should go somewhere else. I don't know where else he could go. He's considered an old curmudgeon. Not really, what he had with Brady in that time. Sometimes if you can't adapt, you're stuck in your own. You can't see out your own shadow. And therefore, time then came and passed you by. I don't know too many people that's going to budge and want to deal with him. I just don't. So, he kind of brought that on himself. So that's kind of how it is, and nobody's going to care. He's been wildly successful. I don't think nobody's going to cry Argentina about a guy that's got 6 rings and been to 9 Super Bowls. No one's going to care. But if it's time to step down and for him to go, sayonara. So, anyway, tonight is the Hip Hop Awards on BT. That mess with Fat Joe. And I can't waste my time with that crap. That's going to be a sorry state of affairs. But, these industry things are so comical. They actually still put those things on, like people are still responding to that, like they should still care. That's the clownery that you get. They still find a way to put that mess on. Who is actually watching that in 2023? Because who are the acts that you're going to say, oh, I want to see them. I got to see them, So, but I just happen to see the flashes for it and what have you. So it's kind of like, okay, this is what you're trying to push the agenda on. So that's a few things that are going on. You see a few things here and there. That's what's kind of happening right now. I mean, everything is bombarded with everything that is real understandable. And, other factors that are going on. It's just political. So it all depends on what part of the world, what part of the country, what you're dealing with, what you're seeing. So I'm going to be on for just a little bit. I know I came on kind of late, and I just thought I kind of would riff and freestyle and hope I caught somebody. But, it's cool. I'll either come on in probably a couple of days or definitely this weekend. So, I understand it's kind of late, but, sometimes it's just cool just to chop it up. I always check to see if anybody's out there and see how people's days is going and so what's happening. So Um, but there's a lot of stories that are real intriguing that are out there right now. You know, and I touched on the Shador Sanders situation. Doug Gottlieb hating about him flexing with his watch. And I'm like, yo, his father hooked him with the watch, but Shador can play. So what you talking about? Why are you tripping about him flexing his watch? College players, athletes today are rocking merch. They're corporate entities. They're doing quite well for themselves. And at his age and his stage, what's the problem? So, just the white media always got something to say, and they always got a problem. Like, why are you doing this? Why can't you just do this? Because everybody ain't programmed like that. They still want people to be programmed and to think asymmetric and just do what they do. So, you know, but anyway, there's just some topics out there, some things that's going on, and talking about, y'all want to talk about Brock Purdy. Yes, he's an MVP consideration. And yes, he's one of the best young quarterbacks going. He's very poised. Does he remind me a bit of Joe Montana? He's got a subtle coolness that, yeah, that if he takes the 49ers deep, he can almost put Joe Burrows. Burrows will probably be back page news because Purdy's even more, got more of that swag, got that real coolness. He's got the actual game that Jimmy G didn't have. And he's got the poise that Burrow's got minus the strength and arm, but the accuracy is huge. Purdy is the truth. Next time, peace.